Hello, hola, welcome back to Rena MoMoney Plus. I'm your girl, Rena MoMoney, and today we're going to be talking about the 5 biggest mistakes I made as a real estate investor. I'm going to tell you all 5 so that you won't make the same mistakes. Come right in. I've said over and over for years that being a real estate investor is a massive opportunity to accomplish wealth, a massive opportunity to live a financial free life, to do whatever you want, to come and go as you please. I've been a real estate investor since 2003. Before 2003, I was already an entrepreneur. But in 2003, I decided to jump into this real estate. And I jumped right in, just like I said. And there's some things that you can avoid that will save you money. If you can avoid some of the mistakes that I made, it would definitely save you thousands, because I've went through some bumps and bruises and I've lost thousands in the beginning. So hopefully I won't bore you with my story, but I think my story will save you money. And remember, I told you on this channel, we're going to talk about what to do, what not to do, how to make money, how to save money and get more money and more money. So come right in, subscribe if you haven't already. And all I ask is that you like or comment, subscribe at least, so that you will not miss all the good stuff that I got for you. The first one was not getting a deposit. You got to get a deposit, especially when you're doing wholesaling. The truth of the matter is, my biggest mistake was not getting a deposit, because if you don't have any skin in the game, you have nothing to lose, and you'll back right out, or you'll do your other 3 projects that you got going on. So always get a deposit when you're wholesaling. I don't care how small it is. And remember, I told you on Wholesaling 101, if you're getting a deposit from the end buyer, that needs to go up. You need to get a deposit. If you're the seller, as the wholesaler, you're selling your equitable interest and you're working with your end buyer, be sure to get a deposit, a steep one, anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000. Don't go under $1,000 and don't go over $5,000. So if you had to put $500 down on your deposit, put $1,000. But if you had to put $1,500 down, you need to put $2,000 or $2,500 as a deposit. And one thing about, if they have a deposit in, they won't just easily walk away. They won't walk away from that $1,000 or that $2,000. Another advantage of having that deposit, if they don't buy, then you keep that deposit, because you're going to have that stipulation. And if you have one of my contracts, that stipulation is in that assignment of agreement. The stipulation is in there, whereas you lose your deposit. So if they do not perform, they'll lose their deposit. My second biggest mistake was not recording that document that I told you that will save your deal. Not recording that affidavit or memorandum. You have to record that. If it feels shady, remember, if I told you if the seller is shady, or you're going to make a large amount of money, or you're probably going to wind up flipping this to a end buyer, or should I say selling your equitable interest, selling the contract and wholesaling it to an end buyer that you haven't worked with, or there's a lot of money in there, or it was already hard for you to get the seller to agree, or you're finding that that area is a hard push, things of that nature. That's when you know for sure that you need to record the affidavit or memorandum. If you need an affidavit or memorandum, look down in the description below. I have that affidavit or memorandum. That is the document that saves your deal. You must record it. It's only valid if you record it. So my second biggest mistake was not recording the memorandum. In the beginning, I would probably recommend that you record only if it was an easy, quick signing and you could tell that the seller is all in. But if you think that seller is going to take more money, if somebody come around the corner and offer $5,000 more or $10,000 more or even $1,000, you make sure you record that affidavit or memorandum. That's a big mistake that I made, and I want to save you money on that. I've lost about 3 deals. Someone went all the way around me and just offered the seller $5,000 more. Actually, one deal they offered them $1,000, and they left my deal, and I was like, okay, I need to start protecting my deals. My third biggest mistake will help you whether you are a wholesaler, a rehabber, someone that flips properties. No matter what you do in real estate, if you're dealing with actually purchasing and buying and keeping and holding or flipping, this third one is going to be key. And my third mistake is giving the repairman or the contractor too much money up front. Before I go into details with that, I like to give my shout out. You know, I like my shout outs. I like to give a shout out to the new subscribers. There's so many that are subscribing, but I can only pick a few. So I randomly select. And if you'd like to be mentioned on the next Rena MoMoney Plus videos, please subscribe now. Like if you like, comment, but make sure you subscribe, and I'll be randomly selecting some new subscribers. So I want to give a shout out to DC Nation, Stevie Smith, Sheila Smith. I'd like to also give a shout out to Tatiana Lewis. I'd like to also give a shout out to the new subscriber, Hope Chapel and Dream Cream. Thank you all for subscribing. Thanks for your support. Thanks for working on yourself and deciding to become a better you. Again, giving a big shout out, whoop, whoop, whoop. Giving a big shout out, whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, and I want to explain why number 3 is crucial, which was giving up too much money up front to contractors and repairmen. Because what they do is, it's so funny, what they do is they'll take the money that you gave them as a deposit. A lot of times we'll give them 1/3 or 1/2 up front, too much, and I'll go over that, too much. We're giving them that up front. They haven't did a thing. You're still paying for materials. Depends if you're working with a contractor or you're a handyman. So it kind of depends. Some contractors, they have rules in place, and a lot of the policies are pretty much the same through the board, but then there's ways that you need to protect yourself from the bad contractors. But on this video, we're talking about the 5 biggest mistakes, and on this particular part, I want to tell you about giving them too much money up front. There will be another video in reference to dealing with contractors. We'll make a video dealing with contractors. As a matter of fact, comment below if that's something you're interested in. Let me know. Let me know if you've already experienced giving up too much money and you didn't know what to do. And if you just lost that money, or you were able to recap that money, regain that money, get that money back. If you were able to get that money back. So you don't want to give the contractors or the repairman too much money up front. If they ask for it and they're adamant about 50% off, tell them bye. That's not going to work, because 9 times out of 10, that's the one that's going to shift you. That's going to be the one that's going to walk off. And if they don't walk off, what they'll do, they'll take forever, because most likely they will take your deposit, go and finish up another job that they need to try to get the balance on that. They're also trying to live off that money. We can go into full details on why you should not give too much money up front. But for this video, do not give too much money up front. What's a good number, you ask? If it's a contractor, you make sure that he's licensed. You check his reference. You see how long he's been in business. You may even want to contact the last person he did a project for. My 4th biggest mistake was focusing too much on the real estate itself, not focusing on the potential seller, not focusing on the problem that potential seller had. I had 2-3 ways of how I would buy, how I would approach that seller. But truth be told, depends on what that seller is going through and why they are selling their property, especially if it's their primary property. Depends if it's their rental property, their primary property, or property they inherited or just trying to get rid of. I wouldn't say it's a different approach, but the seller looks at each property different. So if you're working with someone that's their primary home, or they grew up in that home, they spent 30 years in that home, and they just think it's valued at the world, there's different ways to approach, and you'll feel that out. Like I said before, you'll feel that out. But at the same time, I found out if you focus on the problem, what their problem is and how you can solve their problem, you'll find that some people's problem is they don't know what's the next step. They have nowhere to go, or their credit may be bad. There's so many different problems. If you pay attention and keen in on what that problem is, and if you solve that problem, you'll get more deals closed. Not only that, they'll refer you. You'll have less advertising and marketing you'll need to do, because you'll get a referral from that person. They'll be so happy and so pleased. So if you focus on the seller, trust me, you will get more deals. And that's what I mean by that. Make sure you focus on the actual problem and solve that problem. And my 5th biggest mistake was not asking people to invest in me. Originally, at first, I was trying to do it all by myself. My very first deal, I got a hard money loan. At that time, when I did my first deal, which was in 2003. But there's several deals that I have missed out on because I didn't try to get a private lender, or I didn't try to ask others to invest in me. So let me say this. If you have someone, or you know someone that's in your family, or a friend, or someone that has a good amount of money, they can become your private lender. Keep that in mind. That will save you money. At the same time, it makes you money because you'll be able to close more deals. So have people to invest in you. Talk to people who have money. Do partnership with folk. You will make more money by asking others to invest in you. And once you get a few people to believe in you and know that you're turning deals, or they made a good little amount of money off that first deal, they're able and willing. So start out believing in yourself. Believe in yourself. Again, know that you can do it. Know that you can do this real estate, whether it be wholesaling, whether you're trying to hold. If you need some help, if you need some one-on-one, look in the description below. I do coaching calls. I do 15-minute sessions and 30-minute sessions. Get your one-on-one done with me directly, have all your specific questions answered. Also, if I'm saying anything that's helping you out or that's valuable to you, that you think is going to save you some money, whether it's today or tomorrow or the next day, or going to make you some money, whether it's this month or next month, do me a favor. All I ask is that you subscribe and like, or subscribe and let me know how you're doing in this real estate game. Stay tuned and be ready to watch the next video, because that's going to be jam-packed with valuable information as well. Look below in the description. I have a seller lead sheet that you can have for free. You will have the questions to ask on paper, where it's like a script, so that you can have a great conversation and be able to flow and practice as you talk to your potential sellers. I hope this video was helpful. I hope my 5 mistakes will help you out in the end.